us.
You're looking at them.
Yes, we assume that all of the students and their families are watching on our various platforms, on Facebook and YouTube and our Temple website, and the select few that join us on Zoom are just the that which we make up the minion with.
I see.
And of course, since our services are left in perpetuity on our Facebook and YouTube pages, we never know who's going to be watching later this evening from wherever they are.
Never know.
It does look like we are good on that. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And Lori brought up the fact that a month ago I was sitting in my old home on Bramble Avenue. Well, we are lucky to now be out of our old home and onto our new home and into our new home. And there's just enough Wi-Fi and desk space, though I am waiting for a number of new pieces of furniture, which are taking a very long time, including a new desk, to lead services from as well. But nonetheless, we joined together in welcoming Shabbat together. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And I'm going to see if I can share my screen here. Let's see if I can get to the right button. Come on. Oop. There we go. That's the right button. Share screen. There we go. All right. Shabbat Shalom. And I'll invite anybody who would like to mute themselves so we don't get any feedback. I've been hearing from Gail that we've been getting a good amount of feedback on our Facebook in recent weeks. So to make sure that everybody stays muted, and if you happen to be watching on Facebook at the same time, to make sure you mute yourself if you come onto Zoom. We join together in the words of Hine Matov as we welcome Shabbat. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Each of us enters this service with different needs. Some hearts are full of gratitude and joy. They are overflowing with the happiness of love and the joy of life. They are eager to confront the day, and they are recovering from illness or have escaped misfortune, and we rejoice with them. Some hearts ache with sorrow. Disappointments weigh heavily upon them, and they have tasted despair. Families have been broken. Loved ones lie on a bed of pain. Death has taken those whom they cherished. May our presence and sympathy bring them comfort. And some hearts are embittered. They have sought answers in vain. Ideals are mocked and betrayed. Life has lost its meaning and value. May the knowledge that we too are searching restore their hope and give them the courage to believe that not all is emptiness. And some spirits hunger. They long for friendship, they crave understanding, and they yearn for warmth. May we in our common need and striving gain strength from one another as we share our joys, lighten each other's burdens, and pray for the welfare of our community. We join together in the lighting of the Shabbat candles. I invite you, if you have Shabbat candles, to go ahead and light them with me. Ours have been unpacked, so I can join with you in that. Ooh, my match went out. Hold on. I forgot to turn off my desk fan. That's probably why my match went out. There we go. Oh, and that match I dropped. This is just a heck of a experience lighting candles. Lorraine has probably lit her candles and then gotten on to the second set by now. We'll go with match number 3. Couldn't... There we go. All right. Maybe. All right. We say, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, ruler of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Shabbat shalom. We continue from lighting our candles, which now sit over here on the pile of matches which I've used today, to welcoming the Shabbat bride as we sing together the words of Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shahamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, hishmianu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, lishemu tiferet litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechol v'nilcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesuka, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Itoreri, kiva orek umiori, uri, shir daberi, kivod Adonai alaik nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzohola, toch emunei ham segula, boi kala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. We continue with the words of the Baruch Hu of our call to worship. I invite you to rise if you would like, or to rise in your hearts as you are able. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayers? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorah. Baruch Adonai HaMevorah. Le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yadadai dai dai, yadadai dai dai, Yada die die die, 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 yada die die die. Please be seated if you are standing. We continue with the words of Mariv Aravim as we say, Baruch Atah Adonai, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bivaro ma'ariv aravim, B'chochma potach sha'arim uvitvuna meshana itim, Umachalif et hazmanim u'mesader et hachochavim, B'mishmiratehem barakia kirtzono, Borei yom v'layla, Golel or mipnei hoshech, V'hoshech mipnei or. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzebaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid imloch alenu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. It is getting to that part in the summer when we have our Shabbat services so early. As I peek outside, that it still feels like it's the middle of the day, and the sun is still giving us all of its light, and I always find that interesting as we bless God and bless the bringing on of the stars and can celebrate Shabbat even with light outside. We say one song can spark a moment, one flower can wake the dream, one tree can start a forest, and one bird can herald spring. One smile brings friendship, one hand clasp lifts the soul. One star can guide a ship at sea, one word can frame the goal. One vote can change a nation, one sunbeam lights a room. One candle wipes out darkness, one laugh will conquer gloom. One step must start each journey, one word must start each prayer. One hope will raise our spirits, and one touch can show you care. Our voice can speak with wisdom. One heart knows what's true. One life can make the difference, and we see it's up to you. As we say together the words of Shema, our watchword. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Ve'avta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha uvechtecha v'derech uvshoch b'cha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha Leman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liod lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. We turn now to the words of Micha Mocha, standing on the parted shores, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. There is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Yai dai 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 ya dai 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 ya dai dai ya dai mi chamo chaba elim Adonai mi chamo chane tabakodash norate hilo to se pele norate hilo to se pele mahokut becharau Vanecha Bokei Ayam Livnei Moshe Miriam Zelianu ve'amru, Zeli anu ve'amru, Adonai lo le'olam ba'ed, Adonai lo le'olam ba'ed. We go from the words of Michamocha to the words of our Amidah, our standing prayer, of the prayer which is made up of so many wishes and hopes, and to them we add our own as we ask God to open our mouths and bring us to prayer. And I invite you to rise if you would like, or to rise in your hearts at this time. Adonai sefatai tiftach, Ufi agi tehilatecha, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Velohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'imahot, Umevi Geula lifnei v'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Hozer u'Moshio Magen, Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah rav lo'shia, Mekalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Zomech nothim verofech holim, Umatir asurim, Umkayeh memunato lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memid umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshom yichol yom yalu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. We take now a moment for our silent prayer, and then we'll join together. I didn't want Michael's saxophone rendition of Shalom Rav, which we shared at our 36th anniversary back in January. I'm not sure if it's been shared again since then. To go without a second rendition, or a third, or a fourth, or to go down in infamy in the Temple Beth Or community. So we joined together in the words of Shalom Rav. we turn. I forgot to get rid of the happy birthday at the end, apparently, but it's okay. We'll keep celebrating our 36th anniversary. It's a birthday year when it comes to the organization, not just a birthday day. So we turn from the words of Shalom Rav, asking for peace to rain down upon us, to asking for peace and healing to rain down upon those that we're thinking of, those who are in need of healing of the body and healing of the soul and healing of the spirit. If you're thinking of somebody at this time, I would invite you to go ahead and unmute and to share the name of the person that you're thinking with, either out loud or in your heart at this time.
My husband, David Graham, and I'm going to mention myself because I just got some not good news today. Okay, thank you.
We're praying for you and for your husband as you both go on your healing journeys. We include all of those that were mentioned in our online Facebook and YouTube groups, and all of those who remain in our hearts as we turn to the words of Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We turn from the words of Misha Berach to the words of story, to the words of Shabbat greeting, as is my enjoyment to share a story on the second Friday of every month with our community. I was thinking this Shabbat, of all of the differences, all of the combativeness, all of the change that occurs in our world. And I thought of a story about a monkey and an elephant. Now you see that this monkey and elephant grew up together. And they had always been together ever since they were born. They'd gone to school together, they learned to walk together, they were basically Jungle Book. And they had learned all the things that they could do together. They laughed and had jokes and stories that could go on forever. But, like good friends, one day the two of them got into a bit of an argument. The argument was about which one of them was better. The elephant thought that it was better to be big like he was, that he could move things, he could push things, he could stomp through the jungle. But the monkey thought it was much better to be small and quick and fast, could run around the elephant in circles to climb the treetops. And they couldn't figure out the answer to their question. And they started bickering and bickering more and more until they decided that there was only one true person or animal that could determine the solution. And that was the wise owl. The wise owl, of course, is the wisest. And so when they went to her, they said to her that they could not just figure out the answer to the question, and they needed for the wise owl to tell them which one was better, which one was greater. And the wise owl looked at them and said to them both, I'll give you the answer, but only if you agree first to accept a challenge. And since they needed the answer to their question to settle their argument, the wise owl said to them, "Here's what I need you to do. Just across the river, just right over there, you can both see that there is a huge tree. And on that huge tree, there is a golden fruit. And I want you to get across the river, and to get across the river and come back to that huge tree, I want you to bring me the golden fruit. And whichever one gets it, well, then we will know the answer to who is greater." And so they both agreed that they would take on the challenge, and they set off together, walking about the same pace. But the elephant walked a bit faster and took a few bigger strides than the monkey, and he got to the river first. He started wading across the river, and he turned around to see that the monkey wasn't doing so well, that the current was too hard and the river was rushing too fast, and the monkey was having such a hard time getting across the river that the elephant feared for his life. And it wasn't that the elephant could let his friend just float down the river current, so he turned around and he took the monkey and put him on his back so that he'd be able to get across the river safely. So the elephant went back and he got the monkey, and the monkey came across the wading river. And once they got across the river, the monkey got down and the monkey sprinted ahead towards that big tree. At which point the elephant thought that he was just going to push over the tree, knocking the fruit over. But as he bashed into the tree time and time again, the tree was just too great. It was too strong. It was bigger even than the elephant was. And the tree didn't move at all. But the monkey realized that he could climb the tree. He could make it to the treetops, and he could scamper up and grab the golden fruit and come back down. But that's when the monkey realized that the owl, the wise owl, had told him that he needed to get the golden fruit back across the river. And how could the monkey make it across the river now with two less hands, as he held the fruit above his head as he waded across the river again? So instead he jumped on the elephant's back, and the elephant carried him across the river. And as they crossed the river, they went back to the old owl, the monkey holding the fruit in his hands on the elephant's back. And the owl said to them, "Which one of you had got this fruit for me?" They both paused and looked at each other and said, "Well, we both did." And the monkey said, "There was no way that I would have gotten across the river without my friend the elephant." And the elephant said, "There was no way that I would have ever gotten the fruit without the monkey." And so the wise owl looked at both of them and said to them, "I think now you know the answer to your question." Shabbat Shalom. As we learn that only together can we determine where greatness comes from, we turn to the words of Aleinu, talking about the greatness of our community, of our God, and we share together in the words, our closing words of Aleinu. I invite you to rise if you would like, or to rise in your hearts as you're able. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, lateit gerula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu ki aratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. I invite you to be seated, and before we turn to the words of Aleinu, just a word of reminder that our community will have our annual meeting on Sunday morning, this Sunday, June 13th. We will join together. Maybe you'll be able to make your own pancakes, or microwave your own pancakes, or fry your own pancakes, or go and get your own pancakes from wherever you might enjoy. But we'll join together at 10 o'clock for a little schmooze, and then 10:30 for our annual meeting and hear about the year in past and some hopes for the year in future. And from there, we turn now to the words of our mourner's Kaddish, words of holy memory, words of sacred memory. In our community on this Shabbat, we remember Herbert Bromberg, Elaine Rain Bloom, Anita Rendler, Robert Merritt, Margot Freed, Elizabeth Crook, Bess Crook Newberger, Mandy Rendler, Eugene Kleinman, and Mary Scott. We also recall the recent passing and the memories of Steve Scher and Sherry Davis. May their memories always be for a blessing. To those names, are there any names which our community would like to add? I would invite you to go ahead and unmute at this time. We turn to the words of Mourner's Kaddish, and I invite you to rise if you would like and are able. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'vyomechon, v'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, ba'galau v'izman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha b'reichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Well, we turn now to the words of Kiddush, of our sacred fruit of the vine. I invite you, if you have a Kiddush cup, to join me, or even if you don't, to join me in the words of Kiddush as we join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ava u'v'ratzon ingilanu zikarot le'masei v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikrei kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat l'chaim. Shabbat shalom. And of course, the words of Motzi, of our blessing over Challah. Sorry, that wine went down the wrong pipe and did not feel the greatest. Okay. We'll join together in words of Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Shabbat shalom. And of course, our words, our concluding song today, Oseh Shalom, asking God to bring peace to all of us, to elephants and monkeys alike, to each one of our communities, as we say, Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru, Amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat